we arrive at video number 5000. Some basic meanings of this number can include: I jump for joy at the form, concepts, and spirit of the path. There is spiritual authority to accept for relationship, functional, and developmental reasons. Have you had a spiritual experience in the physical, psychiatric, or in a wholly other sense? Center or south and west above, there is the unmanifested, not conceptualized, non-being. On all created levels, we must go through and be taught secondhand. Go through being aided, perhaps is the phrase I was thinking of. The southwest is with the vertical, beyond the connections and beyond the dimensions. Now, in the scripture of this age, we have Surah 56, Ayat 80. Tanzil Rabbil Alamin. And if it is actual revelation, rather than, oh, I've figured out something, or I've made a conclusion, well, who is it from? And if it's from the God of all dimensions, that's something to... So Exodus 34:35. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone. And Moses put the veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him. Now, this is perhaps by making sounds, or however, the Israelites were in the state to see Moses like this. Because really, you can look at everybody and have this sort of experience, but some people put off different light than others. Perhaps it wasn't even his aura. Maybe it was some spiritual thing. Light, heat, moisture, magnetism is the aura, and you can see the aura. But sometimes there's something else going on, and it takes even further thing to witness that. But Ephesians 2:4. The wind is keeping me from... But God, who is rich in mercy, for his great love, wherewith he loved us. Now, the number value of 5,000, I am talking about the Aramea. I am talking about the Greek. So, and there might be, particularly with the Greek side of the Bible, there may be more variations of what we're looking at. So, and as with the rest of these, if you want to pick apart elements of meaning and further elaborate for yourself, no problem there. It is for the viewer to share their experience, to control the oracle rather than having it control you, because I have thought of a number, and whatever comes up with the numbers, like there's some things comes up with the numbers that, and all only God ever wanted me on my knees, singing holy, 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 and that is all he has is me. Sometimes you have to have bad grammar to get something to add the number value that you pick. So beware of people for doing that stuff. So many live the Satanist's lifestyle and have nothing to show for it. What does that even mean? People think you have to perform, make some pact to get famous. Like, how many people make pacts and it doesn't go anywhere? You still got to do your own deeds regardless. God, January 21st, 2019. And if enough people see this, there's these numbers and dates are going to have significance, particularly to somebody. Why do countries spend so much money on arms and war and so little on food? Well, Jesus is being physically tortured. They have him in a bed, and they are raping him. Just because you see it on a meme on the internet doesn't mean it's true like that. There's the truth about Jesus being nailed on the cross and all that stuff. No. But I mean, who's looking up that stuff? Who's looking up that phrase? You know, kind of worry about them, what they're into, or what they might do. If only the president wasn't a con artist, the lies wouldn't catch up. Well, I don't know. Isn't it an American tradition for the presidents to lie? Okay, the current one's probably lied twice as much, but in his first term too. But you once fought for a goodness until you let persecution enter your hearts and others. August 1st, 1967 is code for 1923. I like how numbers associated with ice cubes can reduce to triangular circle numbers. The world does not revolve around me. Everyone hates me. No matter how good or bad someone is, I don't think everybody loves them or hates them, but that might not be true. I don't know. Man shall live by every word that proceedeth out of his mouth. The Nag Hammadi, Pistis, Sophia prove the historical Jesus, as do Talmud and Kabbalah. The Shroud of Turin is real. Well, a historical Jesus is not one person. It's at least four, if you're going to be honest about it. And certainly not what the Christians say. It's like, oh, well, there was a Jesus who exists, he must have been God. Muhammad existed, so therefore everything that every Muslim ever said, well, Islam doesn't say everything that every Muslim ever said about Muhammad. So, and what, there's 80 Gospels that didn't make it? I would make a wondrous Borg queen, but I would make a better angel. Now, if by angel you mean the light beings, the unfallen angels, well, that's not going to happen. You don't lose gender no matter what surgery or whatnot you have. Actually, we king, and I surrender earth to the Father and request to depart now. Now, the Father is Satan, right? Because Satan's the only one who really had children that kind of outlast the current humans on the living. So that's saying something right there. Because God's not really a father. King. Sometimes you have to omit a letter and do that glottal stop thing in order to have the number value fit too. So that's the more important thing about that. Well, that's the important thing about that. But whatever the fallen angel plan, the jinn, it is to make it fail, because he is the failure of everything. I seriously can't do anything. All the people around me are evil occultists and are biased against me. Predators. This for us or against us stuff, most of it needs to stop. So, the Pope said Christ's life, humanly speaking, ended in failure, so we should feel better about our failures. Now, the real success in being human is doing the best with what we can. That's it. Doing our best with what we can, then we're a winner. Whether or not we get rich or popular or anything like this, that's trying to say that anybody who doesn't make their way... Oh, but the Pope wasn't considered a failure. The Pope got a very powerful wealth, including position. So, well, it depends on what way you say failure, right? A vengeance is a journey from which none can return from except for the Lamb. Everyone, everywhere, I pour out my spirit. Big women, front row, WWE event. WWE is the ones that have the bra and panty matches or something that people talk about. It's like, I'll skip that. But perhaps that's something real. Again, people are quite telling about what they look up. Accepting the mark means you will have war with God. I want to meet friendly aliens, maybe from the Andromeda, the Pleiades, or Orion, maybe a feline, or an avian. That's the thing too. I think a lot of this alien stuff is psychological. Now, if it's spirits, if it's the fire beings taking on various forms and stuff like that too, they're responding to what they think they can have the effect on you with for a large part. So sometimes they prefer particular forms, but they have to interact with your psychology, your physical being, if you're going to witness them as such. But I think people are generally just projecting about aliens. Jesus Christ is not the center of the universe, said a fool who denies Christ is God. Now, if you literally believe that Christ, Mashiach, Amnual, well, all those would literally refuse the idea that he's God, part God, son of God. But Christians generally miss that part. But you reap what you sow, so welcome to the reaping. Each and all individuals will have a choice to live or die on this earthly plane. Man shall live by every word. Do you get it yet? So, really, the word is like the exemplar prophet, the living book. And in the lesser sense, that's something for us to do, is become a living word. Take up the book and stone, yeah, but become a living word. Know what to do with it in every circumstance. Know what to do with it. Live a spiritual life that's not just mimicry. And whatever you want to do with any of this is whatever you want to do with any of the messages. Leave my video as my video, but